So retired Commander Jerry Omodara joins us now from our studios in Abuja. He's a state security advisor to Kogi State government. Thank you for coming on this morning. Well, that particular report, let's get some current situation at the moment. How did that, many will immediately say, how did the state allow it to degenerate to that level where people had to flee for their lives? That's a state of helplessness. What's going on?
Thank you very much. It is a kind of crisis that is very deep than you may just think. Bagana, as you are aware, is a border town with Agatu in Benue State. And we've been having challenges and crises within that area in which we've been able to tackle in the last 2 years. And it's a case that happened long before even this administration. On 17th of December 2014, we had the first attack in that community. And because 7 people were killed that time, and because of the inherent and very challenging area there, we had to set up machinery and we put our eyes on Bagana especially. In the past, we have deployment, and we had enough intelligence report that there was going to be attack. 17th of December, again, 2017, we had that crisis there. And the government, in its wisdom, deployed enough security in that area. However, the problem between Agatu in Benue State, which we had a killing around Bagana about on 5th of April. And by 7th, the report came to my office just on 5th, and by 7th, we already had enough people there. But you are keeping vigil somewhere, and they appeared in a different way. Remember the manpower that those in charge of internal security are also facing. It's not that we don't have enough intelligence to know that it was going to happen. The government took a proactive measures. I was with His Excellency, the Commander Army Records, and the CP in his office, and we analyzed and to ensure that as soon as we received the report from the administrator of that place, we deployed there. However, they were overwhelmed. Remember, we lost 3 policemen there. It was not that security were not on ground, but what is the strength of the police, the army that we have on ground? They were somewhere laying ambush, and they appear in a different angle. And that is why we had that carnage. But as a government, we were able to contain that incident that same day, on 7th of April. Today, we have peace in that area, and we are already urging people to return to their home. The Army's Sector 2 of the Operation Total Freedom in that area, we've increased the strength. The police, through the IG, have given us over 340 men deployed for the current other that the IG recently launched. And we are deploying more troops there to ensure that we don't have issues in that area again. But that Bagana is a very fragile area when you have to do with security. Right. We have issues of market in that area. Market that has been existing for probably about 30, 40 years. And that market is not really, it's not an indigenous market. It is the houses that established that market there. And as of today, we have people trying to take control. So we have, in the past, brought stakeholders in that area to discuss, how to resolve issues in that place. We need to look deep as government, and we are doing that. His Excellency, he have already put in place machinery to ensure that we get permanent solutions in that area.
You know, well, some of the residents, respondents there did suggest that the government needed to set up an administrative panel of inquiry. Perhaps, we don't know what kind of impact that will have.
Yes.
But in terms of getting a solution, what specific steps has the government taken?
First is deployment to secure life and property, which the government have done. We responded very swiftly. Now, the next step is to see, like the market I told you, the leadership, and there is need for the governor of Kogi, Nasarawa, and Benue State to meet. Anytime you have problem between the herdsmen in Benue State, you have the effect in Bagana area. The Agatu crisis with Fulani herdsmen have not really helped matters. We are aware some cows or cattle were killed, and this was a kind of retaliation, by the herdsmen. And the people of that area, they've been peaceful enough, they've been cooperating, they've been providing us enough information to tackle issues there. But where you still continue to have problem in Benue State, Bagana is just in the southern part of Agatu in Benue. And you have the River Benue, you have Nasarawa in the northern part of the area. So it is a very challenging area in which we need to continue to look at either administrative panel or judicial panel. The government is already looking at it. We had an extensive meeting with His Excellency. He responded well, and by ensuring that we first of all now safeguard life and properties. Thereafter, we will look into whether administrative or judicial panel, which within a week you will hear the response of the government. The interest of the government first is to see that life and property in that area are safe. And we are happy the people are already returning to their homes.
Okay, but how are they returning? I mean, the security that you have put in place, are they there to stay? And not after a while, they will leave?
No. Just about 2 weeks ago, His Excellency, after an extensive meeting with security agencies, we decided to have a military outpost in Bagana. And the army, they are going to have a station there, an outpost that is going to be permanent, apart from the Sector 2 of the operational area, which the army are contributing in that area. We are equally going to have the police increased presence in that area. The civil defense, they are assisting. Remember, the issue of internal security is the responsibility of the police. But the challenge we are having in the country, especially in that area, and even in a closer place, Bassa, is not what you can leave in the hands of the police alone. They are trying their best, and that is the reason why the military, or the governor, in conjunction with the military, decided that we should have a military outpost in Bagana.
That's another scenario.
Already the machinery have been put in place.
Another scenario where the police are overwhelmed. But we'll come to that. But, when you say that the governors of Kogi, Nasarawa, and Benue need to meet to sort this out, has the governor of Kogi State requested such meeting?
I may not be able to confirm now, but certainly they meet at various fora. And as government, they are concerned with their people. And His Excellency, the governor of Kogi State, his #1 priority is security. So reaching out to either Benue and Nasarawa State government is not a problem, and I'm sure at their level they will handle it. We are advising them at this level that they need to meet, they need to put things in together, and they are concerned with their people. They are concerned of the safety of their people. I'm sure they will be meeting very soon to ensure that we have a platform for stakeholders to further deliberate and ensure their safety, not only in that area, in other places.
Because just to follow up to that, because you say that this attack is a reprisal nature of attack, and a lot of people are concerned, because if you're having reprisals now and then, it seems to suggest that the authorities are maybe not doing enough to try to stop a further disintegration of law and order in those places. So Having said that, how much of an impact do you think that having the Fulanis who own the cows and the community heads, for instance, maybe traditional rulers, to meet and have a round table discussion to propose solutions to this problem, how much impact will that have on the current problem we're facing?
Yeah, thank you. That is one of the roads the Kogi State government have taken in the last 3 years. We involve stakeholders, especially traditional rulers and religious leaders, along with other stakeholders within the community to dialogue. That is where, you see, the challenges we have in Kogi is more than what is happening in some states that they cannot be in firm control. But we have a governor that is very responsive. We started these stakeholder meetings. Bagana stakeholders, we met several in my office along with traditional rulers, especially concerning the market I told you earlier on. As of today, we are a state that always involves traditional rulers because they have very important responsibilities to play. We involved them. We had even a major one that brought all traditional rulers to Lokoja, the state capital, not too long ago, in which all these issues were analyzed. What we are going to do more is to intensify in that, because it's working for us. It's working for us in the state, because when you involve traditional rulers who are custodians of our custom, and there is no visitor that enter a village or a town that a traditional ruler is not aware of. That is why we know they have their subjects to report things to them. And we went to the extent in Kogi State through that stakeholder meeting that people should, the heads of Fulani in any place should report to the traditional rulers. They will have a head that will be, if anybody's farm have been attacked one way or the other, they try as much as possible, meet the traditional ruler, the affected farmer, meet the traditional ruler, and they go to they survey, they know, they take custody of what have been destroyed, and they assess it. And they even ask them to pay. These have been working very well. In fact, the solution came through a stakeholder meeting which the governor had with traditional rulers and other stakeholders, along with security agencies. And that is why you are not having much crisis in Kogi. This incident in Bagana,
let me quickly jump in here before you further on that.
From Benue State.
What guarantee do we have? Because you've mentioned another security architecture that has been put in place. But initially, when you said that you heard about the attacks and you mobilized to that point, and then they attacked somewhere else, what guarantee do we have today that even while this program is on, there wouldn't be another attack somewhere else?
Yes. There will be no another attack because, remember I just told you the Aide have just threatened us. Kogi is supposed to have about 8,000 police officers or more. As of today, we have just a little over 3,000. So, and you have to spread your deployment to every part of the state. And now that the IG, through the exercise you have recently launched, have given us additional hands. And that is where we have, the Commissioner of Police have deployed to almost every length and breadth of that local government. Not only that local government, we are spreading it to Basa area. And with that, you cannot have any other attack. And with the kind of meeting we've had in the last 3 days with stakeholders, I'm sure we are not going to have any other attack again. That is one thing that we always do to ensure we quickly, if it is the crisis in some states, it will have extended to 3 or 4 days. But it was just on that 7th, and we're able to put it under control.
Here, you said earlier that you usually have sufficient information ahead. You would know that these things would happen, and yet you said the security officers or security system that was put in place were overwhelmed, and you said that twice already. How do we go from here such that
you know, your people, your security apparatus will not be overwhelmed going forward?
They cannot be overwhelmed. We make use of the intelligence report when we get it. And as I told you earlier on, the administrator of that local government wrote a report, and we received the report. And that helped in the meeting between the governor, myself, and the commander army, and the commissioner of police. And the deployment was made immediately. But with the number, you know, that was deployed, you know, it was not sufficient enough. That is what the reason why you could, because we could not cover everywhere. And with the intelligence report we had, where was likely to be attacked were, you know, were properly manned. Unfortunately, they came in from a different angle.
Have you been able to trace the precise? Have you been able to trace the precise route of the security threats that are happening in Kogi, especially these two places? And what's the assurance we have that there will be no resurgence of other threats that you haven't factored in at this moment?
There will be no resurgence because, first, just like you stated, you know, whether the routes they are following. We know between the crisis we had in Bassa, in Kende area is a challenge to us. We decided to open a military outpost. When we discovered that Bagana, the challenge was coming up, the governor quickly, you know, directed that a military outpost should be opened there. Not only military outpost now, we are going to have both the police, the mobile, the one sent to us by the IG, are going to be deployed in this area. And when they are on ground, they are not just on ground to safeguard life and property. They will go into the, you know, hinterland to get intelligence. And in getting all this intelligence, we make use of it. And that will be, the people will have confidence to be able to go about their normal business.
Do you agree to the supposition that these crises are coming because Kogi State is going to go in elections in November? Does it have a political undertone in your estimation?
Well, you cannot rule out political undertone. But first, I always want to say this. Until each state governor in Nigeria is able to separate security from politics, and that is what we have done in Kogi. When opposition is able to tell you you are doing well in the area of security, that is where we get it better. But in everything we turn into politics, it cannot work. What had happened now, it cannot be, you cannot rule out politics in this. We are aware, I told you this thing happened in 2014 when they were preparing for election. And now it's happening at this time that INEC have just released timetable for election. And we are aware a lot of meetings that people sitting in Abuja and thinking they can. You see, the best is for us to think well of our people before we think of the position we want to occupy. If everybody is thinking of, you know, destabilizing Kogi State, they are wasting their time because we are firm on ground. The governor is focused on security, and we ensure that the coming election is conducted in a peaceful manner, just like we had it the last time. And we are not going to tolerate in the state anyone coming with the agenda to destabilize our people because of politics, using security or using security as a tool.
I'm not sure I've heard you mention Patani as well, because they were also attacked. What could be the challenge in that area? What is the state doing about it?
It's almost the same thing where, you know, they spill over from the Agatu people. There's just no reason. It's what we have in Bagana, you have in Patani. It's the same thing you have in places like, they call a place Obakumen, Ojuwo, and other villages around there. But what we are doing is that we are not only securing Bagana town alone, being a border town. We are having the military outpost there and the police outpost. However, the villages within the local government, especially the border towns to Benue State and Nasarawa, we ensure that we secure them. And infiltration of, you know, either herdsmen or other criminal elements like kidnappers. See what we have done in Kogi. Kogi was a place that was a kind of no-go area in 2014, 2015, where in a state we had, within 1.5 years, we had 167 kidnap cases. And we are able to reduce it to almost zero level, but 3-4 months, you don't even have one kidnap case. And we know now that election is coming, a lot of things we want to, a lot of machinery will be put in place to see that they destabilize this, but that will not succeed. What happened is that Kogi is too central for Nigeria to englobe.
You know,
if Natako in Lokoja is shut down, Nigeria is almost shut down because 82% of north-south crisscrossing passes through Lokoja.
Okay, I know you mentioned the Bakume and some other areas, but so does that also include the Abejukolo? Because the reports we get, we understand that some residents of Oganegu community have dissolved into the ID camps in that area. Is the government in touch? What is the message to them? What has been done about that?
You will continue to appeal to our people that the security is on ground and we'll be able to safeguard life and property. Oganenugu, Ajokpachi, Odo, and all those assets, the deployment is covering those places. And if there's any ID camp that they are living or people are running into, we have the offices that are in charge right now in Kogi that we go in there, giving them relief materials and urging them to go back to their home state or the homeland. Reason is that, you see, this is the time for farming. The farming season is on, and there's no way you will allow them to move or stay long out of their homes. If not, it will have the spillover of food insecurity. Scarcity of food could result as that. So that is the reason the government is doing everything possible to ensure we quickly move in, resettle them, give them confidence, have enough security men on ground. We are looking into Baza, we are looking at Dekina, Omala, and putting them, the 3 local governments, they have borders. And when we do all this, and the people can assign security men on ground, they will have the confidence to return to their homes. And the government is already doing that.
Now, the root cause of this, which you highlighted, the cattle moving in and then causing some sort of friction between residents in those communities. But last year, February precisely, the governor of Kogi State was reported to have said that he was making available 15,000 hectares for cattle colony. Why do we still have, this challenge between cattle and community and residents and herdsmen?
Cattle colony is a baby of the federal government, and the state key into it immediately. You see, Nigeria, we are yet to separate the issue we are having in our hands. The Fulani herdsmen we have living with us over the years with no problem, they are not our problem right now. The influence of Fulani herdsmen with fewer cow or from places like Mali, from Sudan, coming into Nigeria, that is our major problem. These are the ones that are arms. Look, Fulani people have been living in every part of Nigeria before. And by the time we are not looking into this, these people comes in with arms, and they are even oppressing the Fulani that we have. If the governors have not taken proactive measures in ensuring that the Fulani people and the native people have stakeholder meeting, we will not be having it today. Because Central...
And I'll ask you, because you may need to wind down soon. Let me ask you quickly. So since you say that those are the people coming from Sudan and the other countries, and you have this on good information and with intelligence reports, being a security advisor to the government, how many of those has the state government arrested?
When you are talking of how many arrested, it's not the state government to arrest, but security agencies. However, what we are doing as government is to support security agencies to ensure they do their job. If you know the number of arrests in Kogi is so high, and that is why we are having peace in Kogi today. I was explaining to you the centrality of Kogi, the way we are, if we don't have security as our priority.
So that we can factor this in before we go. Tell us, Commander, we'd like to know how many of those foreign nationals have been arrested.
That will be a good question for the Commissioner of Police, and even through the NSA office and the DSS office, you need to find out from those quarters, because it is true that many of the Fulani that you arrest, some of them cannot even speak English. Their English is quite different from the one on our living with us. Those living with us can speak English, they can speak our language. They have interacted with our people.
All right, you've spoken several times about inadequacy of police. They failed, they don't have capacity, they've been overwhelmed. So that speaks to the challenge or what needs to be done about policing. But we appreciate your talking to us this morning, retired Commander Jerry Omodara, who is a State Security Advisor to Kogi State Government. Thank you for coming on this morning.